Alright, in this video on the Work Center 302 or Citizen L20, I'm going to go over zero returning the X and Z axes on both the main and the sub spindle. So one thing I'm going to note right away is that this machine does not need to be zero returned upon startup. It does have absolute encoders on the axes. The reason we do not need a zero them out is because those absolute encoders remember the location that they're at even when you power the machine down. So where this video might reference, or you might be able to use this, is getting the machine in a better position if it does alarm out in kind of a goofy spot or get powered down at a goofy spot. I'm going to go over the code to do it. Then also there are some buttons on the prep page that will be able to help you out as well. So first one I'm going to do is the sub spindle, just since this machine is a little tight and stuff like that. We'll get this sub spindle out of the way and back home, and then we'll do the main spindle. So our sub spindle is here. Main spindle is behind this door here. So what we are going to do is we are going to go into MDI, and then you're also going to want $2 up here. So if that is not there, you can do this $select, and that will change it between $1, and it'll tell you the axes that will control, and then $2 and the axes that will control. So first thing we're gonna do, and you always want to do, is make sure that that sub spindle on Z is home, because the X home is actually the farthest over here. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do G28 W0. So what that is going to do is send that sub spindle home to Z0. Z0 on this machine on the sub spindle is all the way that way. So sending the X home is going to be a G28U0. So that is, like I said, the X home is going to be all the way towards you. You actually using this move, I don't know how often a person will, but I just wanted to show everyone. And then I'll also show you another simpler way of doing this as well. So G28U0 is going to send the sub spindle all the way home, which, like I said, is going to be all the way towards you right there. So now that both Z and X is home, this isn't in a very great position for you if you have to go in and work in the machine and stuff like that. So another secondary way of doing this, and I'm just going to jog the Z2 forward so you can see it move. So if we go into prep mode, and the position that I think is the best spot to have that sub spindle is in the pickoff position. So that's when this spindle is in line with your guide bushing. So from this position here too, on the prep page, they have predetermined buttons already to get you to the home position. So one of them is this OPP RET, which is opposite retract. So I'm going to hit that, and then you're going to see opposite tool post retract point. So that's for Z2. So by doing that, you're going to send that sub spindle home, and then down here it's going to say opposite tool post retraction complete. So that just sent that sub spindle home no different than G28 W0. So, in order to get this sub spindle in line with that guide bushing, you can do a position point on tool 30. Let me get this glare out of there. So we're going to highlight tool 30 and we're going to do a POS point, position point. What I'm going to do quick is I'm going to jog this sub spindle forward again because I want to show you that when you do a position point on tool 30, it will actually send that sub spindle home first on Z, and then it's going to go over to the pickoff location. So right there. So right there, now our handle screen comes up. That is completed. So this is the best spot to have your sub spindle. This is where it starts at for the program, and this is also gives you the most room in to work on any of these tools and also over here. So now I'm going to change over to the main spindle. So on the main spindle we have X, which is this way, and then the Z, which is this way. So we're going to go into MDI and I'm going to show you this. So we're on $1. Let me get this glare out of here again. We got this $1. We got G28U0. So on this machine, X home unfortunately is sending it all the way down. So right there is G28U0. That is done, that is complete. You can see we're at 0. So let me zoom in a little bit. If I had that stock sticking out, you could just about imagine what would have happened. So on this machine, we do not reference the X1 axis home in MDI. You will have a bad time unless if that stock is pulled back. And obviously at this point there is no reason to have that go all the way down. So what we do want is it to go all the way up. Here's the nice thing about Citizen is that they have that in the prep page. So if we go to the prep page again, and they have what's called a gang plate retract. So you're gonna hit that and it's gonna be gang tool post retract point for the X1. So what we're gonna do is hit cycle start, and that is going to send that sub spindle, or not, excuse me, not the sub spindle, the main spindle all the way home. So for your Z axis, I do not recommend you sending that home. There's really no reason to at all while that machine is operating. The only time you would is maybe if you're doing a changeover or a setup to pull that material out of that guide bushing. Right now it's flush with the guide bushing. So if you were changing this over and you had stock in there and you wanted to pull that out, the first thing you want to do is open up that JBS guide bushing, and right now it's opened up. The reason why I know that, and you can watch a video on that, I can see there's a little step here. So if you ever want to send the main spindle all the way back home, you can do what's called a RET POS, which is return position. Here's the nice thing about doing this is that that will actually return all of the X1, Z1, and Z2 points to the retract point. So what that's going to do is it's going to send the X1 all the way up, just like the gang plate retract does. It's going to send Z2 all the way home, and it's also going to send Z1 all the way back as well. So I'm going to hit cycle start on that. Actually, I'll probably just show you by jogging X1 down a bit. And then also at that point, we'll do a return position. As the return position first starts, it's going to send X1 home and Z2 home at the same time. So as you can watch, both of them are up, and then I don't know if you saw that, but it was really quick. The stock is now pulled back out of the guide bushing. And then I'll show you back here that that main spindle is all the way back now as well. So like I said, really you don't have to worry about sending this home at all while you're running production. The only time you're going to do that is upon setup. It's a nice handy tool because at this point you can open up the main spindle and pull that bar out of there. So that is how we zero return the axes on our L20.